is the liquid of life. We all need it to survive. Water, choose water first, water. We all know it is precious, should be enjoyed by all of us. Talking about water, choose water first, water.
The Barbados Water Authority has been closely monitoring our groundwater reserves, and now we are getting some new equipment to help with that process. It's all about the data gathering so we can know how we respond during this drought. With me is Dr. David Farrell. He is the principal here at the CIMH. That's where we are right now. A lot of monitoring equipment we are getting. We got that groundwater monitoring equipment. We had some before, 4 or 5 systems. Now we are increasing that significantly.
You're correct. The key thing in managing water resources is to know what your water resources are.
Indeed.
And certainly the equipment will help with knowing what your water resources are. There are 2 key parts to water resources management. There's the quantity part, how much water do I have, but also how much usable water do I have based on quality. And so that's an important thing that one needs to look at. And the stations that we're getting help us with both. But certainly this becomes creates a much more cost-effective way of collecting data. You don't need to send people out, and the data comes to you, and that's the key part.
So this changes the entire game. This takes us from having to wait until we get out into the field to find out what's really happening, to us being able to be driving by and can actually monitor the station. It's going to move to us being in the office and being able to see what's happening immediately. So if we see a drop at one of our pumping stations, we see a drop in level or we see a change in water quality, we can immediately contact the operations and maintenance department and let them know they need to adjust their pumping. So if we have to stop the pumping or we have to reduce it to protect the aquifer, to protect the water resource altogether. So this changes everything that we do. We are going to be able to respond so much quicker to the changes in our water quality and our water level, and to protect our water resource overall. Because in the past, what we had to do, we would go out into the field, we would take the readings, we could analyze at the time, but we'd always have to drive out there. That equipment also sends automatic alerts to your phone. So sometimes right now we have only 4 in place, but every day I get an alarm to come into my phone to tell me what the water levels are, what the water quality is. So we have 4 stations now, and it's going to go off to 27. And we're going to get to see what's happening all over the island all the time.
It's extremely important for Barbados to be able to manage the groundwater resources. The parameters we're looking at really that concern us the most are the conductivity and the turbidity, because they allow us to plan more efficient use of our water resources. If we see that the salinity of a particular water supply is increasing, obviously we would tend not to use that supply as much as a supply that was had a lower salinity. So equally with turbidity, the greater the turbidity, the more treatment it would need to actually make that water potable. So this equipment is extremely useful because it's going to provide us with a wide network for the whole of the island, and really will help a lot on water resources management. Drought is a worrying problem for Barbados because it's a water scarce nation. We're the 20th most scarce nation in the world, so we really do need to manage our water resources extremely carefully. I think that the policies that have been implemented by the government, restricting the use of unnecessary uses of water, is extremely useful and it's helped us a lot. But as always, we don't know how long this is going to last for. How long? Okay, we've had a few wet days, but we could have another month of very dry weather, high demand for water, and we need to be prepared for that.
Now, this monitoring equipment is so important for you, our valued customers, and we will continue to let you know what is the situation with your groundwater reserves right here on Water Wednesdays. To view this or a previous episode again, please visit our website, www.barbadoswaterauthority.com. You can go to our Facebook or Instagram for additional details as well, or subscribe to our Water Wednesdays channel. That's on YouTube. You can find us there.